Hello, namaste, good morning. This is Bhupinder Singh from the FNF to cover today's topic as hydration, rehydration, and approach to restore. This is our edition of the FNF theory, what we've been covering every Sunday at 11 o'clock. Glad that you are here and ready to listen about this theory, how to use water and other hydration needs, which will help you get ready for the race, and simultaneously during the race day how it helps your body to enhance and better your performance. So first I would begin with to understand why water is so important for human body. So this goes back to the theory of when you as a child were in your mother's womb. So when you as a child were in your mother's womb, you were living in a water part, wherein the body was the area where the child is as a fetus grows is completely surrounded with water. And when you were born, and before that the water fluid breaks, and then that is how the process of the child coming out of the womb happens. When you come out and become a normal life, an active life, we need water, which needs to be given to our body, because our body needs or is made of 70% of the water that we consume. So that before you were born, or when you were in your mother's womb, you were surrounded with water, and when you come out you need water internally. So that is why water is an essential part for our day-to-day activity and a necessity. Likewise, you must have heard this, wherein it is said that you can live without food for days and months, not without water. So water is an essential need for our survival on day-to-day basis. That is our necessity. So how does water function in our body and why it is required? So when we have water, the water is stored in our pores, in our cells, in our tissues, which as I said, the entire body needs water to sustain and survive. It's just like a fish. So if you run out of water, you will become like a fish, which is out of water and which is striving to survive, and it needs water again to go back to life. That is what we do, or our body needs water. So this water element takes us to the kidney part, wherein kidneys are the most essential organs, wherein it uses the water to remove all the toxins that are in the body, and gets filtered, and then it is thrown out in the form of urination and other excreting methods. So this way the water is there, which the kidney store and uses it accordingly on day-to-day basis. So what does the kidney do? What will the kidney do if the water is not enough for the body to sustain? Then your kidneys, your brain starts giving signals, wherein the water retention starts happening in your body, or in your pores, in your tissues, or maybe the kidneys are storing water, because it is going into a survival mode. It is not getting adequate water. So that is why kidneys, you would see, when there is any kidney dialysis, they start saying that you need to add more water, have more water. The kidneys are under stress, they are under pressure. So what happens with this is, this brings me to the fear theory. So kidneys in a therapeutical and the unconventional manner, kidneys are the place wherein when there is fear associated, the kidneys go into a survival mode, into a protection mode, and or other word is that it goes into a fight mode. So when the kidneys are getting affected, so probably for a runner or a cyclist who is going to use the lower body more, will start getting the glutes or the hamstring or the shin feeling dehydrated, because these are the muscles which are being exploited during training or during the race day. So what happens on the race day is you would hear that many people feel, oh, you know what, I am dehydrated, I had a cramp, I could not run, suddenly I slowed down. So what is happening over there is it is important to understand how much of water you have been drinking on day-to-day basis for the kidneys to function properly. So let's first understand in a scenario wherein there is less water in the body. So what does the kidney do? So on a race day, you are running and you suddenly see someone ahead of you and you want to try and catch that person, and you're running towards catching that person. So you're trying to push more, and simultaneously at this very same moment you see someone coming from behind and goes ahead of you. Then what happens? That suddenly the competitive and the feeling of you losing this particular race, or the fear comes in, wherein you feel that, you know what, I was trying to chase that person, but suddenly someone has gone from behind, has gone ahead of me, and now it is I have to chase two different people. So what is it that the kidneys go? Kidneys go into a stress mode, wherein suddenly the brain starts thinking, oh my god, now I have to push more, and then the kidney starts going into threat mode, wherein it needs water at that point of time to survive. And if the water is less in the body on that particular moment, then you will suddenly feel that if you're angry about the situation, then suddenly you see that the hamstrings are getting tight, or they're getting very stiff. Simultaneously you start feeling that your glutes are not moving the way the legs should have gone up, or the way the legs should have been moving, like the cycle per se, up and down, it stopped moving, because suddenly the kidneys have started using water, whatever is there in the body, for its own functioning and for its own survival, because the brain is always constantly signaling that I have to chase more two people instead of one, and I am staying behind. Or in another scenario, when you have your own watch and you have a time particular schedule wherein you have a plan, and suddenly you realize, oh okay, I'm running short of time, or my pace is a little bit more slower than the anticipated one. Then what will I do? Then suddenly again, if the water is less in the body, then the body again goes into a threat mode, wherein you mentally are being always treating your body with different types of theories, or the fears, or the competitiveness, or the self-devaluation what you're doing about yourself, and the kidneys will always go under pressure. That is why the kidneys are being under stress, and instead of giving it to the other major body parts, kidney says that let me use the water first, what is there in the body, instead of me giving it to the muscles or the tissues to keep on going ahead. So this is one scenario when there is less water. On the same scenarios, if there is more water, the brain is more functioning in a better manner, because it has water for the kidneys to survive and to move out of that emotion, and simultaneously it also, the organs are going to make sure that they have the other body parts, the muscles are also getting adequate water, because there is enough water stored in the body of regular drinking of water day-to-day basis. So this is how the kidneys behave or play with water, again depending on how much of water you are giving to the body. It is very important. So this is what on a scenario, as I explained, less water would do, and when you have regular water in your body, right amount of quantity in the water in your body. So on a other scenario, less water in the body also creates dehydration, cramps, then there is anxiety, you might feel stressed, you feel lethargic, there is more of muscle pain, you would see the joints are paining. So, and even obesity comes in because of less water. So how do you identify that how much of water you have in your body? The best way to understand how much of water is there in your body is to check the urine color. So a very simple formula is that if the urine is in dark yellow or pale yellow, that means you have less water, and if the urination is in white in color, then that means you have adequate water in your body. Because whenever there is adequate water in the body, the kidneys and the tissues and every organ will circulate required water as per the requirement, and remove the extra water out of through urination, and all the toxins are thrown out. That is how there is enhancement of metabolism as well. So the best another way to understand how much of water are you drinking is, instead of day-to-day basis, also is checking urination every time you urine, is also every morning when you get up, when you go for your first deed of urinating in the morning, you can see the color of the urine again over there. If it is very dark in yellow, that means the previous day there was less water consumed by your body. So you will be able to understand that what water you had yesterday, will the body will show the reaction today. So likewise, I always mention to all the runners and cyclists that the water we drink, the water I am going to drink today is going to help me tomorrow. Similarly, the body will show the symptoms the next day, how your body is behaving with water. So if the urine is normal in color, that means you had enough of water yesterday, and if it is not, if it's yellow in color, that means you've not had enough of water yesterday. So how do we drink water now? When you need to drink water, so on a very simple layman understanding, let's say that a person who weighs 20 kg needs 1 liter of water. So if someone who's weighing 80 kgs would need 4 liters of water, and if you've been training regularly 6 days a week, 7 days a week for an hour to every day, that means you can add 1 more liter of water. So instead of 4, you would add 5 liters of water. So this is the first theory, is that every 20 kg is equal to 1 liter of water is what the body wants, and then you can just multiply and add basis what your body weighs. Now how you need to consume this water. So many come up with this, that saying, it is very difficult for me to consume so much of water because I feel very heavy and I urinate a lot. So firstly, in a very simple understanding, what you can do is you can put an alarm clock for every hour from the time you get up, and you have 1 glass of water. So which I would say that 1 glass of water, this is 250 ml, 1 glass of water every 1 hour you go and you drink whenever the alarm rings. So let's say that if you get up at 6 o'clock, and from 6 onwards, if you start having 1 glass of water, by evening 6 it's 12 glasses of water. So I am claiming that you are drinking 3 liters of water. And simultaneously, if you add 1 more glass of water before you go to sleep by 9 or 10, you will reach a mark of 4 liters of water. Again, depending on what your weight is and what your requirement, as we discussed earlier, how much of water you need, you can divide that alarm clock from 60 minutes, you can lower it down to a 45 minute, to a 30 minute, depending on the kind of water what you need to consume in a day. So this is how you can start drinking and educating your brain with water. So what happens is, when you do this for the next 4 to 5 days, using the alarm clock every hour ringing and you taking 1 glass of water, this will help you to take educate the brain and train the brain to function and remind automatically that every hour you will feel thirsty and you need water. So after 4 or 5 days, you will realize that suddenly you do not need an alarm. Your brain is signaling that you need a glass of water, and you just feeling thirsty and you start drinking water. So what happens in the initial days when you start drinking water is, people complain of feeling very heavy, feeling bloated, and urination. People as an individual, you would start go and urinate more than what you were doing. So why does this happen? So when let's say on a scenario wherein on a daily basis you were having just 2 liters of water a day, and now after this you start having 4 liters of water a day. So it is like literally you have double the capacity of what you are consuming right now. So the body will start holding on water for some time, for a day, because suddenly the brain will realize that this is a change in pattern, and simultaneously it was not being followed. So is it something which is unusual, and I have suddenly received so much of water? Let me hold it, because it needs to give all the tissues, all the cells, the kidneys need it, your brain needs it. So every organ and every body part started using water. So suddenly there is water retention. In anticipation, whether it will happen again tomorrow or not, the same quantity will be given to consume or not. The second day you give again 4 liters of water. The third day you again give 4 liters of water. Suddenly the body realizes, the brain starts signaling, oh, there's a change of plan. Now suddenly I have started getting water every day, so there is change. What was previously a 2 liter has become 4, so now there is no need of holding the water. So let me just start with my metabolism, start removing the toxins. Then suddenly you will realize, oh, okay, so you started urinating more. So wherein you were just going 5 times in a day, during the day, urinating, suddenly it's like almost 10 times a day. Every hour, every 2 hours you're just going and urinating. And this also what creates a problem with many of the people in thinking is that, now I have to go and urinate, especially women, working men and women. If you're studying, if you're going to college, or if you're in a teaching profession, in any sort of profession, you suddenly feel, now I have to get off my desk and go and urinate so often. So this is a process what is designed by the brain and the body to remove toxins. In another 3 days, the body will, once it has removed all the toxins which was stored for so many months or maybe so many days, has been removed, then suddenly the body will go back into a slow mode of urinating, wherein it will not go and into a urination mode of the number of times like a 10 times in a day. It will reduce it again, go back to a 5. So what you need to understand is, when you were having less water, you were urinating less. When you increase the water, you will urinate more. Once the body is satisfied and the brain is satisfied that the pattern is established and it's a regular process, it will go back into the urination of the previous way, which will be on a very minimum scale. Then the body will start behaving very normal. With keeping yourself hydrated, you will have a better skin. You will suddenly start seeing good glow on your body. You will start seeing the muscles taking up shape, because most of the muscles are also holding on to the water, using that water to sizen up. And apart from protein or maybe fats or carbs what we speak, even water is used by the muscles to grow. So this is how water will help your body to become a better individual, a better performer. When you are training, you sweat, so the body would need, there's a lot of sodium loss and salt loss, which the body will again regain once there is a lot of hydration kept in the body. So now I would just bring in some other hydration methods apart from water. What you can really use on day-to-day basis is, you can take a jar full of water, slice fruits, or maybe slice the lime and put that in the jar and keep it for maybe an hour or maybe even half an hour, 30 minutes, and then start consuming water out of that particular jar where you have sliced those fruits. So in fruits you can slice whatever you want. You can slice Mossambi, then you can slice mangoes, apple, watermelon, cucumber if you want, or even if you want to add strawberry, any sort of fruit which would not really get dissolved in the water but stay in the water and give its minerals, vitamins, adding that to the water. So what will happen is that with this water you are also adding the nutritional value from these sliced fruits, that is adding vitamin C, vitamin B, and then also adding more flavor to the water. Apart from this, a very unique method what I regularly preach and educate my client is taking the rock salt. So anytime when you feel that you are completely dehydrated, or suddenly you come after a run or a cycle and you feel that you have maybe some stiffness in the muscle, or you feeling a little bit cramped or dehydrated, take a pinch rock salt and take a glass of water, okay, and take the pinch rock salt, put it on your tongue, and then sip a glass of water. So what happens with this is, when the rock salt goes on your tongue, it directly goes onto the saliva, and when it goes to the saliva directly, the brain starts feeling that it has got a lot of magnesium and various other nutrients Like from rock salt you get almost 84 micronutrients, which are minerals which come from this rock salt, and suddenly your body starts getting hydrated. And rock salt also helps with water retention. So when you do that, you will realize in the next 5 minutes the cramping and the soreness has started reducing, and you suddenly start feeling more hydrated. And simultaneously you are going to also keep on drinking more water. So apart from this, this is the way how you would treat water, by giving it to the body internally. The other external methods which really also work is, you would reach out to a swimming pool, sit in the water. So like I said, that the water is stored by your pores, by your cells. So when you are going to sit in the water in a swimming pool, the water is going to be absorbed by your pores, by your cells, and you will suddenly start feeling that after a swim, or maybe even if you're sitting in that swimming pool for half an hour, you will feel that you want to urinate. But the biggest question is, you have not had any sip of water even in that 30 minutes. Then why and how are you going to feel to go and urinate? Because the cells are going to drink water. This is the way how you give it externally. This is the way how you can be any muscle part. If it is stiff or it is sore again, or if you feel that way, then you can give use this method of giving water to the body, and this way you can get hydrated again. Simultaneously, if you are unable to reach out to a swimming pool, if you have a bathtub in your house, you can use that. You can go and sit in the bathtub for another 30, 40, 60 minutes as per your leisure time. Enjoy the moment, let the body feel hydrated, let the pores keep on drinking water. This is another way of getting hydrated. These two methods are what I generally ask my clients who are traveling out of the city, or even out of country or any other state, for marathons or for their cycling events. How this helps is, there is a temperature change. So like I stay in Bombay, which is very humid, high in temperature. So when I coming out from a city wherein it's 35 degrees and very humid, and I go to a city or a country which is at 20 or maybe 18 degrees, then my body has to go to that temperature change, and this temperature change is managed also by water in your body. So to manipulate and to balance this, I ask my clients to go and sit in the swimming pool or maybe in the bathtub. So before they do their booking in terms of hotels, or if wherever they are taking an accommodation for their races, I request them, if it's not possible for a pool, at least try and get a bathtub in the bathroom, because this way you will be able to reach out and make sure that you have this water therapy done before the race, and you are completely hydrated internally and externally. In case you do not have a swimming pool, if you do not have a bathtub, then I would ask you to take a tub, put water, put rock salt, add some non-refined oil, maybe a mustard oil or coconut oil, alright, and put that maybe a scoop of oil in that water, a spoon of rock salt, and fill the tub with the regular room temperature water. Sit on a couch, put your feet in the tub, and just relax. So your knees, your legs, the tub, you will be almost putting your leg close to your knees, and you can just sit. This way your lower body gets hydrated, and suddenly you will start feeling that there is a lot of water in the body, in the lower body, because that is the particular muscle part which is more exploited, more used during the race, and hardly trained. And this way you will be able to give more water to those particular body parts which are right at the bottom, and stay hydrated. So another question, again, which was always which I always kept on asking, was to myself, and then found this answer, that why, when I am reading, or if I'm studying, or maybe I'm working on my laptop, or even if I'm talking, and if I have, let's say that if I'm writing or I'm reading something for the next 1 hour, So I am just using my limbs and my brain. I'm not even speaking. Why am I feeling thirsty? Have you ever thought about this? So what happens is, even in this scenario, so we always relate water to sweat, to feeling exerted, or when you have really used your muscles, you've gone out of the house, you had you did sweat, and then you feel okay, fine, now I need water. No, even when you are doing too much of brain activities, like even if you're playing chess, which involves a lot of brain thinking, a lot of involvement, wherein you have to keep on constantly thinking, and you're just moving your limbs and you're just thinking. So the brain starts using the water. It needs a lot of water. That is why you start feeling thirsty. Feeling thirsty is the sign the body shows that you need water. So you need to always keep a watch or a track and listen to your throat. When it says that I am thirsty, give a glass of water to it. So this is another aspect of water. Apart from your muscles and your tissues being used, even your brain requires good amount of water. So for a healthy brain functioning, you would need to make sure that you are going to have the adequate water. As we discussed earlier, 20 kgs of weight is equal to 1 liter of water. Irrespective whether you are physically active or not, you need that much of water every day. So this also goes down to people who are always on the phone, or maybe on the laptop, watching too many series, too many episodes, too many movies, or playing a lot of games. Again, there is a lot of brain thinking, because you're analyzing, you're strategizing. So you would need water. Your throat will say that, okay, I am thirsty, please give me some water. So when you will listen to your throat and you will give water to your body, the body will never retain or hold water. You will never find a retention of water happening in the body. So on the also how water helps with the weight loss is that after this session, if you add, and when you are going to add more water to your life, you will suddenly realize that for the next 7 days, when you are consuming so much of water, you will see a weight shift in the body. Yes, you will feel a little bit heavier in between in a day, and you will start feeling bloated. As I explained earlier, if you continuously keep on doing it, in next 7 days you will suddenly realize there is a weight fall. You have lost some weight because the body has stopped retaining the water. So the fat what we speak in any part of the body, apart from adding emotions to it, yes, the body will hold water to those organs, and you will get heavier. When the water is removed and the toxins are removed, you will feel lighter, and you will feel there's a weight loss what is happening to you. This is what I have been using with my clients in the first 7 days. In fact, most of the nutritionists and dietitians across the world, when they claim that you can lose weight in so many days, the first trick is adding water, and you will see a shift of weight. You will lose that weight. And as I said earlier, it is also to enhance your mental strength. You will certainly feel that your body is getting a lot of water. Your brain is very active because the thinking and the movement, the limb signaling, everything is very accurate. When your brain is satisfied, your kidney is satisfied, there is enough of water. It is you will be a perfect posture, and you will be standing hydrated with a lot of confidence. So some also ask me, what about hot water, what about cold water? So again, the hot water theory is really to do with something to balance the body temperature of your body. Now how does that work? In cold parts of the country or any part of the world, when you go, it is difficult for you to consume when I'm saying 4 liters of water, because if you're going to have 4 liters of water, you are only going to go and keep on urinating every 15-20 minutes. So in that scenario, the hot water is really helpful. So what the hot water does is it creates a little bit of heat in the body, and simultaneously the pores and the body holds on to that water. So you need not really have that high level of water drinking over there, but because of the hot water, you are staying hydrated because it is creating heat and the body temperature is completely balanced. yes, the water what we need is priority given by the body internally to balance the body temperature, to get acclimatized with the outside temperature where you're staying. This is how the womb theory works, wherein in the womb, when you were there, the water outside you in the womb where you were in, like a fish, it was maintaining the body temperature for you to grow. And when you come out, the body needs from the inside to control the temperature which is outside and stay active, stay alive. So it's survival. Water is survival, that keeps you alive. So this is what the hot water comes in. The cold water is something, again, it's a choice. Refrigerated water again creates a lot of heat in the body. If you really want me to ask me that what kind of cold water I would prefer, is the authentic way of drinking is getting the matka, the mud vessel, storing water in that. That is really nice chilled cold water what you can consume. You can use metal utensils, which will again help you with good amount of water, balancing again in terms of the cold water what you are asking for. It's always the way you train your body, what you're comfortable with. Every body is different, every choices are different. You need to listen to your body and understand that this is helpful for me, and accordingly you just incorporate those things. So there are another few theories about water. What you can really use is there's something called a structured water technique, which is basically using the stones or marbles, storing in the vessel and using that particular water. What these marbles or the stones do is, it's similar to what you have the natural water which is flowing in the rivers, in the ponds, coming from the Himalayas. It always has a friction with, there are rocks, so it has a friction with the rocks. The magnetic energy creates a lot of minerals which come into the water. That is what you need. Your body needs a lot of minerals. So the structured water technique adds, with that magnetic field, it adds a lot of minerals to the water and giving your body added minerals. Apart from what the other companies which sell in the plastic bottle, selling you a lot of minerals and the other theories, I really do not understand that. But if you need something which is very natural, natural is always natural what your body wants, nothing artificial. So I would remove the plastic bottle from my house. I would add more glass, more utensils like copper, maybe steel, or any other metals which I can use to store water and have water in them. Even the glasses what you're going to use, that also really matters. If you're going to use plastic glasses, it's of no use. Shift that to a glass or maybe to a metal utensil. This way you will be adding a lot of minerals which the water has lost over a period of time because of a lot of purification what we keep on getting educated with. This is the natural way of drinking. So what do you do before the race and on the race day? How do you get yourself hydrated? So 7 to 10 days before the race are very crucial when you're doing a long distance running. You need to make sure that you heard about carb loading and other various methods. Equivalent, the water is very important. So if you are going to have so much of water as I explained in terms of your body capacity and the requirement, 20 kg of weight is equal to 1 liter of water what you need to consume, and just add that with your weight and the number of liters. 7 to 10 days before the race you need to stick to that water because you're feeling hydrated, and the anxiety what you're going through before the race, when the race is going to come, you're strategizing how you're going to what pace are you going to run. You have a roadmap, you're thinking about the racetrack, and you're just visualizing how you're going to run that climb, go the downhill. If someone is ahead, how would you pace that person and go ahead of that person? Everything. So you're thinking a lot. There's so much of strategy going. Again, the brain is being functioned, just how you're playing a chess. So you are going to feel thirsty. You would need water. So you keep yourself hydrated throughout those days before the race. And even before the race day, the last day of the race, you need to make sure that you are on that particular track of drinking water for the entire day, what you have in plan. On the race day, you can again strategize how you need to drink water. So if which needs to be practiced before the race during your training methods. So if you're doing a full marathon, and if your race training has you were able to either manipulate with the minutes, like every 30 minutes you need a sip or two of water, or maybe every 5 kilometers you need a sip or two of water. You align that, you strategize that, and then accordingly you keep on drinking water on the way. So either you can carry your water. Most of the races have stations parked, and they already tell you at what distance this water station will be there, the hydration point will be, so you can accordingly strategize yourself. The biggest mistakes what people really do is on the race day is that suddenly they realize, I am not feeling thirsty, I don't need water. So someone who's doing a 42 kilometers, a full marathon, is running and realizes, okay, you know what, I can run without water for 20 kilometers. So that's half the race. You are saying you can run without water. What happens in that 20 kilometers is the water which is there in the body is being used, it's been utilized, the sodium is out, the sweating is happening, the water is out, and by the 25-26 kilometer mark, even though you have had water at 20 kilometers, you will feel dehydrated, you will feel soreness or feel the cramp. And the strategy would, you will feel of chasing someone or taking that hill in a faster way, or going the downhill with a better pace, would not really be able to function, because your brain starts demanding for water and it is not there. So it is always to strategize and make sure that you have the water as per the plan, what you design, maybe a 5 kilometer, maybe a 30-minute, drink that. It is very important. What you can also incorporate during training is add lemon, rock salt and into your water bottle, and keep on sipping that. This adds, as I said, rock salt is comes with a component of 84 minerals. Lemon comes with a lot of vitamin C, which your body wants. It keeps you hydrated. It comes into the water, becomes a good mixture. So it will keep you hydrated, and it will make sure that you are as per the strategy what you're going on to your race day. So on the other side, what people also do, which is an error I would say, is not drinking adequate water, and suddenly before the race day or two, they start realizing, oh, you know what, I have less water, and they start consuming more water, and then they start suddenly feeling that I am feeling very heavy, I am feeling very bloated, and then you start blaming the water. You know what, the water is not nice, I have come to a different city, the climate is not suiting me, because the water has to retain when you are not regularly processing the water to your body on the requirement what it always wanted. So it has to come up, and it will keep on reacting and showing you these symptoms of feeling bloated, feeling heavy. So make sure that you have a strategy throughout the day, for weeks and for months, wherein you are always hydrated. Another thing what you can try doing is 7 days before the race day, add I call this dhania water theory. So what does it do? So it is used for the kidney purification, to remove the toxins and the kidneys to function in a better manner, which you can try anytime, even if you're not an athlete. Every 10 days you can do this. Take a boiling water, let the water boil, and when it is boiling, okay, take a bunch of dhania and coriander, or as it called also coriander. Take that dhania and put in the boiling water, keep the lid, and once it boils more, then you can just switch off the gas and let the steam do its work on the dhania. And then after 10-15 minutes of that, you can remove the lid and let the dhania water go into the normal room temperature. Then filter the water, remove all the dhania, and just extract the entire water, which will be more in green in color. Keep that, let the water become in a normal room temperature, and you can consume that 1 glass of water, that dhania water. So with that, you will suddenly realize that there is a lot of excreting that is happening, you will be able to feel that there's a shift of energy, because suddenly the kidneys start feeling pure and the entire toxins which have been stored in the body is removed out. So again, it's to do with dhania leaves, the coriander leaves I'm talking, which needs to be used in this boiling water. On a regular basis, what you can really try and do is, the another way is to take pudina, take the entire bunch, mint leaves, take it in a bottle, keep it in the bottle. You can fill the bottle with water and put that dhania, put that pudina in that glass bottle and keep it, and keep on consuming that water. You will see that the water is little bit sweet, it is having little bit of cool flavor which you feel. And what pudina does is it's a mint, so it has a very cooling effect. So it also balances and helps the body, especially in summer, to keep it cool from inside, and it helps with keeping hydrated, the body hydrated also. This you can use it before the race day also. This way you will feel that you're more hydrated, more energetic. So this is to do with the water, what I've been practicing, I've been teaching, and I wanted to share this with you today. I hope you enjoyed the session. Would love to see your comments on our Facebook page, on our Instagram, that is the FNF, or even on our YouTube. We are posting these videos also on YouTube, that is the FNF, Food Nutrition Fitness. You can write to us on our email ID, that is coach, coach@thefnf.in. If you're looking for a personalized plan, you can reach out to our website, that is www.thefnf.in. You can look at our packages, our plans, quarterly, monthly, yearly, and you can come and join our plan, and would love to work with you on a one-on-one basis. As I say always, that every body is different and every body cannot function on a generalized plan. Would love to see you next week. Thank you for your time, and stay hydrated. Make sure that you incorporate these habits starting right now. After this, 1 glass of water every hour.